analyzing Tinubu's government 1st of October speech yesterday. Take your time, listen to this analysis, a review of his speech yesterday and the low-key celebration, what actually happened yesterday. Just take your time. Then you know that if we are progressing or we are retrogressing. Because a lot of things Tinubu said yesterday, even you listening, if you listen to this speech yesterday, you could even see that some of the things he thought about, he said yesterday, they were not true. Yes, they were not true, but he's very good in making speech, in deceiving people. So take your time, listen to this video, and please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be your guy, runner for me. Please, let's watch.
And we've seen some key figures tell us about, spread messages of hope, what Nigeria has achieved, reflecting on the past, looking to the future. Your take on this story?
So a couple of things. I mean, it was a very interesting ceremony that celebrated Nigeria, that showed the grandeur of our culture. And also, I must commend Hanasu Musawa on that poem that she spoke well, that she read out, that we had seen constantly being played here, that speaks about the greatness of the country and how we can harmonize all of our great resources together. You can see it was a tapestry of many cultures from every part of the country. And also the symbolic releasing of the pigeon, to be able to symbolize hope. And that's really needed at a time where the country is faltering and suffering a lot of challenges. Also, going back was the back and forth, we had as regards protocol. I think Dr. Abati pointed it out while we're here, of the national anthem going off first when the vice president was there. We didn't know that the president was going to come afterwards. Then there was a second national anthem, as against the normal convention of protocol.
Maybe they just liked the sound of it.
I mean, alumnuses of the State House can tell them more about protocol. So maybe if you guys want to get protocol right, you should be able to ask Chief Doctor Alumnus, the General Dr. Abati, here as regards the protocol system. Also, we're a bit taken aback. Maybe it's those that play the music when they were playing the
president's signature song.
So when you look at it, is it the king of Nigeria now? I mean, what are we saying here? I mean, he's supposed to be the chief servant at a time like this. But it was a good one. He checked through the guards yesterday. I also love the introduction of the bagpipe, which he started doing in 2006, and it was well attended, members of the diplomatic corps. Yeah. We saw the national Ashoebi. Some people had done the national Ashoebi. Some people didn't wear it. I didn't see Mr. Wike wearing it.
He wore a suit.
He wore a suit, and he was quite very dapper in the suit, and he put, what's it called?
A green pocket square.
A green pocket square in it. But some people wore the Ashoebi. Maybe some people's tailors didn't turn it in on time. Some didn't turn it in on time. And I also saw a lot of the ministers wearing the Bola Ahmed Tinubu insignia cap. And I'm looking what's going on here. And all of this was just a continuation from his speech, which the cable newspaper has fact-checked, that most of the things he said in the speech were not correct. And I think that speaks volumes of his speech writer. It's an indictment on the presidency. In fact, the cable first fact-checked, and I think I sounded this yesterday, that when they said he had cleared ways and means, no, it was securitized. And secondly, when they said they had gotten 30 billion in foreign direct investment, no. In fact, Dorita Niti, the Minister of Trade and Investment, I just announced that there were commitments worth over 30 billion. So it was not that the money had come in, to the economy. So, but all in all, good celebration, very low key. Let's see how this pans out. But I think the speechwriter should check that speech again.
All right, Dr. Abati.
Okay, here we go. Yesterday was October 1, the same day that China was celebrating its National Day. There was an instructive, informative article on the back page of this newspaper yesterday by Isa Aremo, the Director General of the Michael Emodu Institute of Labor Studies in Ilorin, where he was trying to compare Nigeria with China. He said, well, it was under Mao Zedong in 1960 that China declared the National Day. If you compare Nigeria and China today, well, the comparison will be like comparing apples and oranges. Even if you take some other countries that attained independence in 1960 against Nigeria, or with Nigeria, as the proposition will be more correct, you will see that Nigeria has fallen behind. Last week when we discussed this same topic ahead of the October 1 celebration, we said Nigeria is a crippled giant. And I quoted Professor Osa Osai, who wrote a book in that direction. And then, of course, yesterday, there was a bombshell of a newspaper editorial in Punch newspaper, which says, look, Nigeria has lost its way. After 64 years, he says this is an adult that is behaving like a deformed child. In other words, there seems to be an emerging consensus of opinion that there is something wrong with Nigeria, that Nigeria could have done better, that Nigeria could have behaved better. Chino Achebe long ago told us that the problem with Nigeria is leadership. Some other theories on the subject of Nigeria's evolution and psychological situationing have also said that perhaps it's not just the leaders, it's also the people, the followership. So here we are with that dilemma, and yesterday we celebrated 64th independence anniversary. President Tinubu, after a fashion, decided to have a low-key event. Well, that low-key, somber, celebration will have made sense if in terms of the attitude of the government also. They refrain from buying yachts. They refrain from extravagance. They refrain from ostentatious living, conspicuous consumption, which Thurston Verbline says is an indication of the disconnect between the ruling elite and the people. But yesterday, in the forecourt of the State House, we had that ceremony after a fashion where the president comes in, the bagpipers play, he inspects the guard of honor, there is the color patrol, there is drill. These are normal things that they do anyway, in the villa. Every morning there is a change of guards. But what I found disturbing yesterday was that the national anthem was played twice. I had to call some of our old colleagues to say, why are they playing the national anthem twice? You play the national anthem once because there's only one president. And it is when that president arrives that you play the national anthem to signal the commencement of proceedings. Indeed, in many occasions, or events, when the president is seated and the national anthem is played, they close the door. Nobody else comes in. You will have to take express permission from the president for you to be allowed in. You don't come in after the president is seated. And they won't play the national anthem, before the president. But, these people, I don't know. But the bigger issue, however, is about the content of the speech that the president delivered. Yesterday, I made the point that when a president speaks, we're looking for sound bites, we're looking for policy statements, we're looking for things that will connect with the people. I feel personally embarrassed as a person who once took an oath of allegiance and oath of office as spokesperson for the president of Nigeria, that look, this speech is now being torn apart by people on social media, including lawyers who said they were involved in the case. To say that the president of Nigeria was lying to Nigerians yesterday is very embarrassing. One gentleman who said, he was a lawyer involved in the case, says, no, it's not true that Nigeria has settled ways and means. He added that it is not true that we have procured a foreign direct investment up to $30 billion in an environment where the exchange rate is about 1,700 naira to the dollar. And that he can prove it that the president of Nigeria was lying to Nigerians. No, that's scandalous. Whoever submitted that paragraph for inclusion in the president's speech, his head must roll. Because the principle here in presidential politics is that you have to protect the president. The president cannot take bullets for himself. Whoever was so negligent to put lies inside the President Tinubu's speech must suffer for it. That was the drill in our time. And in any case, before a president speaks to the people and he will be quoting figures and all that, in our time, a committee, after the speech has been prepared, will be put together and we will go line by line, line by line. Anybody who had anything to say in terms of expertise will say, no, that figure is not correct, this one is not correct, and we'll keep changing it, that's how it's done. But okay, no two presidencies are the same. Every president has his style. But I don't think that a presidential speech on the occasion of October 1 is something that should be given to tyros in Nigerian politics and processes, presidential processes, and then to put the president in an embarrassing situation where some people will come up and say the president lied. No. That's not how presidential politics is played. Finally, the state governors, including the president, they have all preached to us the message of hope. From Lagos to Ogun, to Nasarawa, to Kaduna, to Kwara, all the governors joined the president in saying that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Well, when they say light at the end of the tunnel, as a student of literature, I take it for granted that when you are in the tunnel, when you get to the end of the tunnel, what you will see is light. What Nigerians are asking for is, when we are inside that tunnel that is dark, can you give us light inside the tunnel, in the middle of the tunnel, so that the light we see at the end will add to our vision. We will not end at the end of the tunnel and we will not be able to see. When you go from darkness to light, you will be managing for a few minutes.
Like torchlight or lantern inside
whatever. Let them give us light, even as we are going through that tunnel. I rest my case.
Absolutely. Dr. Abati, I got a few messages here around the protocol of the anthem, that when the vice president comes up, an abridged version is played. Then the president comes in and then the main anthem is played.
Well, I speak from experience. Yeah. That was not what we did in our time. We also had a state chief of protocol and we worked directly with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Right. So there's nothing, is there an abridged version of the national anthem of Nigeria? If there's an abridged version, let them tell us. And that one is more authentic than the other.
All right. Okay, well, a lot has been said this morning, but let me just pick up some things that were said by some nationals, because a lot of attention, of course, and rightly so, is put on the center on days like this. And the people are looking to the president, during his speech, to see whether he'll be able to give some hope or some substance as to the alleviation of their challenges. It would have been great if he perhaps acknowledged the protesters or people who had come out to say that they were hungry or that they wanted the president to attend to them and their agitations. He tried to do so through announcing the National Youth Conference, which has been met with mixed signals. I'm still of the opinion that it was a good move to at least demonstrate to some extent that he's listening to the people, but it's the outcome or how that is run that would then determine whether or not it's just another charade or he's really serious about this. But some people have said it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money. Why is he spending money? I mean, of all the things that he could do, why announce a 30-day National Youth Conference? What are they doing for 30 days that they cannot do over a virtual meeting? And or some of the agitations to respond to some of those that have already been put out by the protesters in the interim, and then demonstrate to us the seriousness to want to listen to the people. But I want to talk about what the governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, said. And I thought, on reflection yesterday, I thought about this. It echoed my thoughts around a growing sense of apathy, distrust, restiveness. One of the things that was not included in that speech, or perhaps one thing that we should talk about, is this growing disunity along ethnic lines in Nigeria, this division, this sense of almost losing the sense of Nigerianness. You know, if you ask the question, what is the Nigerian dream? What is the vision of a Nigerian? It's lost on us. A lot of people now, in pursuing or trying to get the daily bread, are just looking for ways to survive body, soul, and spirit. And again, from the elections and rhetorics, especially by leaders, we have seen growing discontent and growing disunity and growing intolerance amongst the people. The president has to do something about that. We've often brought in the conversation around the National Orientation Agency and what they are doing to push that vision, that rhetoric of one Nigeria. Because at the end of the day, if people are just existing together, north, east, west, south, and they're just staying and nothing, there's no cohesion, it's a melting pot waiting to bubble over. So I'm just hoping that there will be actions, deliberate actions, whether community-led, whether through traditional and religious leaders, to bring people together and to get some sense of unity. But one of the ways to do it, at least, is to have economic prosperity. Because there's larger intolerance when people cannot eat. Then you begin to remember that, okay, this is just for my community, people, just my family, support this particular ethnic group and the likes. I think that is something, even though subtle, that must be paid attention to, especially at this time when we celebrate the independence of Nigeria. Nigeria didn't gain independence 64 years ago for us down the line to be so divided, more than perhaps we've ever been in recent times or even at all. So that's something that we cannot shy away, and it's not going to be solved by unity fabric. The unity fabric is not going to bring Nigerians together. The people look nice, it was colorful, it was great for the person who wants to win the money, and it was good to see the president's wife try to make an effort or a gesture in that direction, but it doesn't in any way cut it when we talk about unity. The NYSC was set up for this same purpose following, post the Civil War, but we have seen that the gains from that has almost been eroded in recent times because there's a growing distrust, and so government must acknowledge this and find ways to deal with it. In terms of the other fact-checking, a number of things have been said, and I'm sure we're going to detail this as we speak to our guests later on today. We're going to detail and discuss a lot about the president's speech and, of course, what's happening on the global scene. But right now,